we are back, and we will be giving you our Seattle review today. To start it out, arts and culture.
Arts and culture. So as a guy from Texas, I was very surprised. There is a lot of culture in Seattle. Just kidding. There's tons of things to do in the city. There's major sports teams. There's everything that a big city normally has, like orchestra and zoo and aquarium. And a lot of things we've actually done before in previous visits to Seattle, but it's got a great scene to it, and there's a lot of different options for activities. So on the arts and culture side, we give it a 5.
For restaurants, we were pretty impressed. There's definitely a ton of seafood and a ton of Asian food in Seattle. So, for instance, we went to this really cool kind of Hawaiian place, which was delicious. We love that kind of food. We don't eat it necessarily every day, so it was good that it was rounded out with other types of food as well. Like, we got a really amazing Mexican brunch this one day with these different kinds of breakfast burritos.
It burned my mouth off.
But in a good
tasty.
way.
Yeah.
Ice cream, we got some different specialty ice creams around Seattle, which were quite good, but also really expensive.
Yeah, probably won't go back to get more ice cream there.
Yeah. But they do have Tillamook, which is technically an Oregon ice cream, but is a very solid grocery store option.
Yeah, for sure.
So for restaurants, we're giving it a
4.5. Jumping to neighborhoods, there are a ton of neighborhoods in and around Seattle, actually a little more than we expected going in.
Yeah.
While there are a lot of nice options, they tend to be on the very expensive side. And this is probably just because there's so many people there, they're all kind of crammed into one spot, and so it drives prices up. The short and long of it is we'd have to get probably outside the city center a good bit to get to something that we would want to purchase.
Yeah.
So on the neighborhood side of thing, we're going to give it a
3. Outdoor activity scene. So if you've watched my videos, you know that Seattle is bordered by a lot of mountains and water. So there's really a ton to do on the outdoor side of things. Of course, being that it's a very large city, it does take a little while to get out to them. But there are a decent number of really nice city parks as well. So we were impressed with that. And of course, Seattle's just a gorgeous place when the sun comes out between the water and the mountains and the hills and the trees.
Oh yeah, super pretty with the Olympics kind of to the west and the Cascades to the east. On a clear day, you can see both ranges, and it is quite beautiful, especially with the sound right there too.
Yeah. So we are going to give the outdoor activity scene a 4.
So kind of piggybacking off of that, day and weekend trips, there's so much to do in and around Seattle. So if you're looking for other cities, you can jump to Vancouver, you can jump to, outside of pandemic, I guess. You can jump to Portland. There's the beach to the west, which, by the way, is debatably a real beach. It's it's cold water, it's got rocks and not sand, but has some really cool tide pools and other stuff. So a good time out if you want. But yeah, so beaches, plenty of hikes in the aforementioned mountain ranges, lake activities if you're into that. So skiing is how many hours? I don't know, a couple hours away.
Yeah, not too far.
But yeah, a couple different options too, not just one single mountain. So lots of good opportunities for weekend trips. So we're going to give that a 5.
Traversability. So Seattle's a very large city with a growing population, and it's kind of jammed in between bodies of water like lakes and the Sound, as well as these mountain ranges. So it's really kind of hard to get around Seattle. There's always traffic on the couple main highways, which are how you have to get to everything. And even though there is definitely public transit, which is continuing to grow, they're really expanding it a lot. It feels more useful if you were commuting into the city versus just trying to get around to see friends or family. So with that, we are going to give Traversability a 2.5.
Jumping to weather. So, as you are all aware, Seattle has a reputation. The entire Pacific Northwest has a reputation for being kind of gloomy and overcast and rainy a majority of the year. we went there to kind of test that out and saw none of it. It was absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, good weather. It did rain a couple times, but like an expected amount for springtime. We did not see that, but Valerie did grow up there. Her parents are there. We hear about it quite regularly. So, yeah, basically, weather is a real concern in terms of, or something you need to be able to deal with and live with as you're there. So you will be wet a lot of the time. So for that, we're going to give weather a 2.
Lastly, we'll finish with some fun facts. Ben learned what a salmon ladder was.
Yeah, so I had no idea. I knew the whole thing about like salmon jumping upriver and sometimes getting eaten and caught by bears along the way, but I did not know that people actually built kind of stair-stepped, I guess, river steps. It's like a series of locks that elevate so that the salmon can actually jump from here to here to here to help them get up in more, I guess, rivers that are located in the city.
Yeah, places that have been dammed or, need management.
Yeah, so that was kind of cool. What we weren't expecting was the crazy amount of rabbits all over the place.
I don't remember this from growing up, so they must have come recently, but we literally saw more rabbits than we saw squirrels in Seattle by several orders of magnitude.
Yeah, Romeo liked the rabbits. He wanted to get a little closer, as you might imagine. One cool thing about the neighborhoods that we were living in and some of the different neighborhoods around Seattle was that they closed them down for pedestrian access. I don't know if that's specific for COVID or pandemic or if that's just a long-term thing. And I've actually heard a couple different cities that are doing that for some roads as well. But it was really nice to have some roads dedicated to pedestrian traffic.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.